Hello everyone, thank you for attending today's webinar entitled Office 365 versus Hosted Exchange, Migrations Made Easy. This is the second Hosted Exchange versus Office 365 webinar. The first one was entitled Hosted Exchange versus Office 365, which will win the match for your business. My name is Matt Stagnan, and I am a Cloud Services Senior Product Manager for mindSHIFT, specialized in cloud-based messaging and productivity lines, including Hosted Exchange and Office 365. I've been with mindSHIFT for 8 years, and we also have Peter Lai joining today's webinar as well. Peter is our Technical Customer Care Manager. He manages a team of over 10 technicians that supports customers with all their technical needs. He's handled hundreds of migrations and has over 7 years experience with mindSHIFT. So for today's agenda, we're going to start with a recap of the previous webinar. We're going to specifically look at Microsoft's Office 365 Business Premium Plan and mindSHIFT's Hosted Exchange Security Bundle. We're going to get into what's new with Office 365 Business Premium. We're going to go over the things to consider before making a decision on whether you select a Hosted Exchange option or an Office 365 option. Then we're going to hand it over to Peter, and he's going to talk about kind of the different migration methods that you can use to migrate to either Hosted Exchange or Office 365. And he's going to kind of get into how to determine what the best method is for your organization. Finally, we're going to wrap up with how mindSHIFT can help your organization move to the cloud. So to start, we're going to take a look at mindSHIFT's Hosted Exchange Security Bundle. Now, what's included with this is an unlimited size mailbox. So you're going to get unlimited storage with your mailbox. You're going to get a premium McAfee spam filter solution, as well as McAfee's message continuity. So in the event of a server outage, you'll be able to send and receive email. Outages are rare, but it's always nice to have that option. Then it is also going to come with kind of some compliance solutions, such as our compliant email archiving option and email encryption. It's going to come with Microsoft Link, SharePoint as well, and we're going to give you a 5.9 or 99.999% SLA or uptime guarantee. Now, on the Microsoft Office 365 Business Premium Plan, the biggest difference is that this includes Microsoft Office. So you're going to get applications like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. You're also going to get those same applications online, which is called Office Online. You're going to get a 50 gig mailbox limit, so you have 50 gigs to store all your email, your calendar, and your contacts. It's going to come with Microsoft's Skype for Business, which was formerly known as Link, and we're going to get into kind of the changes in the coming slides. But it's also going to come with Microsoft SharePoint, which is really a intranet or an extranet, if you will, and Microsoft Yammer, which is a cloud-based social network for your organization. It's going to include file storage with OneDrive, and it's going to come with a 3.9 SLA or uptime guarantee, so 99.9%. So what's new with Office 365's Business Premium Plan? The last time we met, their attachments were 25 megabytes, and now they've upped that to 150 meg. The default is still 25 meg, so you actually have to change the settings within the online portal. But now they offer the ability to send larger messages. Also, we hinted at this on the last slide, but Skype for Business has been renamed. Link has been renamed to Skype for Business. Really, they redesigned the client, and there's a lot tighter integration with Skype now. So they're making improvements on that front. They also introduced Sway, which is a new Office Online application, which really is a digital storytelling app. It's very similar to PowerPoint, but there's advanced multimedia capabilities within Sway. So it's a new way to kind of tell your story and to get your message across. Now, we looked at this slide in the last webinar that we did in the Hosted Exchange versus Office 365, which will win the match for your business. So before you make a decision on either solution, whether it's mindSHIFT's Hosted Exchange Security Bundle or Office 365's Business Premium, you should be thinking about these things. So the first one, how many email users does your organization have? With the Microsoft Office 365 Business Plans and Business Premium in particular, there is the 300 user cap with that plan. So you can't actually have more than 300 users on any given business plan. There is no limit with mindSHIFT's Hosted Exchange, so it's more of a go as you grow or grow as you go type solution. The other thing, so what does your business actually require? So do you need things like compliance tools such as email archiving or email encryption? If you do, maybe mindSHIFT's solution is better for you. If you need things like Office 365 is probably a better fit for your organization. And to our previous point, does your organization have a strategy with regards to Office? Do you purchase Office and use that until a new version comes out? Office 365 really lets Office be consumed as a subscription basis, so it's a lot easier for customers to afford. Next one is, how does your organization deal with compliance regulations and e-discovery today? Chances are, if you know you have to meet compliance regulations, you know what you have to do. So you're going to have to retain your email for 7 years. You know you're going to have to encrypt emails that contain sensitive information such as health records, social security numbers, credit cards, things like that. If you require those type of compliance regulations, mindSHIFT's Hosted Exchange Security Bundle has the built-in tools that you'll be able to use. Now, how much downtime can your business afford? Each one has different service level agreements or uptime guarantees. mindSHIFT is offering 5 nines or 99.999%, while Microsoft is offering 3 nines, 99.9%. This is a difference, and it's something you should consider before making a decision for your organization. The last one was more important, last time we met when Office 365 had a 25 meg email attachment. But really, what size messages does your organization need to send or receive? Now Microsoft has a 150 meg option, where mindSHIFT we're offering a 50 meg option. Both are very large emails. I don't recommend sending emails, larger, or sending very large emails because a lot of recipients will not be able to receive them. But it's something that you should keep in mind. And lastly, how are you going to migrate your users to these solutions? Do you have the resources to do this in-house? Do you need a third party to come in, like a consultant, and to move your organization over to the cloud? Or do you want a trusted technology partner like mindSHIFT to help you with this move? So with that, we're going to hand it over to Peter right now to talk about the different types of migration methods available. So Peter?
All right. Thank you, Matt, for the introduction. All right, so today I'm going to talk about the different types of migration methods available to migrate to Office 365 or to the Hosted Exchange platform. So today we'll discuss the 5 most popular methods. As you can see on the slide, it's a cutover migration, stage migration, IMAP migration, hybrid migration, and PST imports. Okay, as you can see here, most of the 5 migration methods are all available from Office 365, whereas the Hosted Exchange migrations only supports 4 out of the 5. So the hybrid migration is not supported by most Microsoft Exchange Hosted Exchange providers, and I'll explain a little bit of that when we get there. So let's talk about the most popular migration method. Okay, so the cutover migration method. This is the method used by 95% or more of the Hosted Exchange migrations to Office 365 or to our Hosted Exchange platforms that we use at mindSHIFT. And the cutover, why do we like the cutover migration method? This is because we convert everyone over to the new platform all at once after the migration. So the way that you do it is there's 2 phases. The first phase is you would synchronize anywhere from 95 to 90% of your data currently hosted on your old Exchange environment or mail server. Once that synchronization has completed, you would then schedule a cutover. That's when you synchronize. That's when you change over all of the DNS records, such as your MX records, auto discover records, TXT records, SRV records, needed to make the transition to the new provider. And once the cutover has occurred, you would then perform the delta sync, or the remaining of the data that may have the emails that may have come in after you've performed the initial sync. So that's very clean. It's usually recommended for customers with less than 2,000 seats or under, because if there's more than 2,000 seats, you may want to consider a different method because due to the coordination needed to get all 2,000 plus users cut over to the new environment. Okay, so if you have users more than 2,000 users, you may want to consider a stage migration. A stage migration is pretty much a cutover migration, but instead of migrating every user over to the new platform, you would set up batches of users to migrate instead of the entire company. So the way you would do that with Office 365 is you will need Azure to synchronize with their Azure AD Active Directory environment along with yours. So you need to create a trust between the two Active Directory environments, and then make sure your Active Directory is up to date to allow the users to be carried over. And then you would use their built-in tool to migrate the users over in batches. And one thing to note about the 365 migration method for stage is it only supports customers that are using hosted Exchange 2003 or Exchange 2007. Exchange 2010 and Exchange 2013 servers will need to use the hybrid method that I'll talk about a little bit. If you're migrating using the staged migration method to a hosted Exchange environment, it's a little bit different because most hosted Exchange providers do not allow access to their Active Directory infrastructure. So the way you would handle the migration is by creating or by migrating to in batches, but using their alternate email addresses. For instance, Office 365 users have a .onmicrosoft.com address. So similar, most hosted Exchange providers have their own alternate email address. So for the mailboxes that have been migrated over, you would then create a forwarding rule to forward to their hosted Exchange, new hosted Exchange alternate email address. And once the transition is over for the entire company, you would then just change all the MX records over to point to the new environment. Okay, IMAP migration method. So this one is a very simple process where you just migrate the user's inbox and subfolders. So it does not migrate their contacts, calendars, and tasks. And it's really geared towards Exchange servers, servers that are not Exchange 2003 and above, such as Exchange 2000. If you have an IMAP or a POP server or a Lotus Domino server. So those you would want to consider using IMAP migration instead. All right, hybrid migrations. So this migration method is only available for Office 365, and it is only compatible with existing servers that have Exchange 2010 or 2013. It also requires Azure AD Sync and single sign-on setup to use all the features. And this is recommended to be used by enterprises that have 2,000 more users, and a requirement to keep some of their users on their on-premise Exchange server for compliance reasons or logistical reasons. So with the hybrid method, you don't need to migrate every user to Office 365. So you can choose which users you want to move to Office 365, and also which users you want to keep on your on-premise Exchange server. So you can keep on using the hybrid method as long as you need, and then if you ever decide that you want to move all your users over to Office 365, you can then just finish the migration by using the staged migration method. And after that, you can just decommission your on-premise servers. Finally, let's talk about the PST import process. So this is not really a migration method. This is really a manual labor where you take everyone's exported PST data from the previous mail server and import it into the new Office 365 mailboxes or the hosted Exchange mailboxes. So it's really just creating the new profile of the new server that you'll be using, and then doing a file import on the user's client. Some hosted Exchange providers do offer the ability for you to ship them all the PST files, and they would do the import for you. I believe there is an upcoming feature from Office 365 where they will allow you to send in PSTs and to do the import for you for a fee. That should be an upcoming feature, and it should be in beta pretty soon. All right, so we talked about all the migration methods. Now there are some things I'd like to share with you before you consider migrating. So a couple of things that you want to keep in mind is you want to archive any unnecessary messages to speed up the migration and also the synchronization of the user's profiles. Once you create the new profiles for your hosted Exchange or Office 365 mailboxes, they need to download all the messages from the server. So if you have 200-300 users in one network and they all created new profiles, it may take a couple of days or a week for them to download all the data if everyone has a couple of gig or more in their mailboxes. Some of the exceptions to consider, things that will not migrate over are personal distribution lists that users created and have added to their profile. Those won't get migrated, so you'll want to save them to a PST file. Autofill entries, they do not carry over as well, but there is a manual method that you can import it from their old profiles. And then also Outlook profile settings from their existing profiles do not carry over. So if that's something that your users are very conscious of, you may want to make a copy of their setting or take note of their settings before creating the new profiles. Access to make DNS changes. So you absolutely need to have that information or the ability to make DNS changes if you're migrating to a new Exchange provider, whether it's 365 or hosted Exchange. That's because the mail flow and the profile reconfigurations require DNS records to be updated in order for them to work, especially with Exchange 2013, where if you don't have the correct auto-discover entries, you may not be able to create an Outlook profile correctly. And finally, finally for this time, mailbox permissions needs to be reconfigured after the migration to the new provider. So if your users utilize this a lot, they may want to right-click on their contacts and calendars or email folders and copy or take a screenshot of their existing permissions so that they have that available to reconfigure once they've moved on to the new platform. All right, don't forget about distribution lists and external contacts. So these are separate items that you'll want to consider after you migrate to the new provider. Distribution list needs to be recreated. If you're on Office 365, you can use their PowerShell tools to import them in bulk, as well as external contacts. For hosted Exchange providers, you may have to do them manually, or with mindSHIFT, you can import them using the bulk import tool. Public folders requires additional planning. That's also one of the separate items that are not handled with the mailbox migrations. So if your company uses public folders, you'll want to plan on copying all the permissions and also exporting them to a PST or using a third-party tool to get that migrated over for you. And mindSHIFT does have those tools to help you migrate your public folders over. Outlook compatibility. You want to make sure that all of your users are using Outlook 2007, Service Pack 2 and up, and especially if you're going to Office 365 or to a hosted Exchange provider that is using Exchange 2013. Those are the requirements, and there's no way around it. If they have a lesser version or older version, then those users will not be able to connect to those servers. And finally, the most important thing to consider before migrating is to make sure you have the proper end-user communications set, and also have them available for distribution, for instructions if you need your users to reconfigure their Outlook profiles and their mobile devices. You want to make sure that you get buy-in from the end users, make sure that they're notified way ahead of time and of any changes. And again, make sure that they are ready for the migration as well.
All right, thanks, Peter. And lastly, we kind of want to get to the wrap-up section of this webinar, but we're going to first, take a look at how mindSHIFT can help you. Obviously we can migrate you and we can advise you on the right solution, but really mindSHIFT, our job is to advise you on the right productivity and collaboration solution for your business, because we are your trusted technology advisor. We can migrate your organization to the cloud to whichever solution that is right for your business, whether that be mindSHIFT's cloud, Microsoft's cloud, some hybrid cloud, private cloud, or even an on-premise solution. mindSHIFT is a Microsoft Cloud Solutions provider partner. We are authorized to sell and support Office 365 solutions. And lastly, whatever solution is right for your organization, we will be able to support that solution for you. So as we wrap up, here is a quick snapshot of who mindSHIFT is and what our core business is comprised of. We have been in the industry for over 15 years, consistently ranked in the top 5 managed service providers globally. We've been helping customers go to the cloud at whatever speed makes sense to them since 2004, or really before the term cloud was used. We've built our businesses around supporting customers. These squares provide an overview of the services that we typically provide. We're a full-service managed service provider that can be a one-stop shop for all your IT needs, providing desktop and server support, cloud services, access to data centers around the country, as well as professional services. We offer a broad range of services on a grow-as-you-go basis. Managed IT services, really we assume all responsibility to proactively monitor, maintain, and support your on-site IT infrastructure, including server management, desktop management, end user support, infrastructure management, so you can focus on your business and growing your business. And as many companies are doing now, we can move IT to our cloud or Microsoft's cloud, allowing you to redirect the capital investment into key strategic needs of the business and ensure business continuity in the event of a disaster. So I wanted to thank you all for attending today's webinar. You can find our contact information up on the screen. If you have any questions or any needs, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Can be reached at info@mindshift.com or 877-227-5054. I thank you again for attending today's webinar, and I hope you have a great day.